these two are in a relationship. Like I said, it was very tumultuous, very, up and down, a lot of, conflict going on in that relationship. But for about 5.5, almost 6 minutes, they put that aside and put together an absolutely undeniable 90s slow jam. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris Stevens back on the Groove Line. I already did 2 episodes this week. Well, why not a third? Because today is July 28th, and 34 years ago today, Mary J. Blige put out this outstanding album, her debut album, What's the 411. And I'm not going to do a complete and total What's the 411 review. I think I may save that for a 35th anniversary when I get some more people involved and have a real good time with it. But I did want to talk about my favorite song on the album. And it is so interesting because this album as a whole, What's the 411 came out the summer as I was going from fifth grade to sixth grade. So I was fairly young when this album came out. And hearing my peers, especially, teenage girls dancing to Real Love in the streets was a very transformative experience. You found out just how deep, you know, artists and art can affect people and how so many different sort of vibes could be given off by one record. And What's the 411 was a record full of vibes and talent. Of course, Mary J. Yeah, we got to mention Puff. Yeah, Puff, he produced most of this album, him and a few other folks. But the song that has always stood out to me, even at 11 years old, 10 going on 11, was I Don't Want to Do Anything with Casey Haley. Now, this song is absolutely Jodeci Nachos reheated because Devontae Swing produced this record. And of course, as everybody already knows by now, Mary and KC were in somewhat of a tumultuous relationship at that point in time. And having them do a duet just seemed like a good idea on paper because you have the lead singer of one of the lead singers of Jodeci, because let's not take away from JoJo. JoJo has some pretty good vocal performances on Jodeci records. It wasn't just KC, but KC was out in front for the most part. And you have KC leading Jodeci, and then you have this new girl from Yonkers, Mary J. Blige, who just wowed everybody with her street smarts, her personality, her, you know, her willingness to perform and show out. And, these two are in a relationship. Like I said, it was very tumultuous, very, up and down, a lot of, conflict going on in that relationship. But for about 5.5, almost 6 minutes, they put that aside and put together an absolutely undeniable 90s slow jam. Like, if you were of that age, old enough to date, old enough to, you know, I don't, do the kids even still say make out anymore? I don't know. if you were old enough to date, old enough to kiss, and of course, old enough to move your way around the bass path, shall we say, this song had to be on your list of songs for that moment. And I Don't Want to Do Anything is just, I mean, the hook itself says it all. If loving you is all that I have to do, I don't want to do anything else. That just tells you just how deep of a commitment you can have to a person. Like, I got these bills to pay, I got to go to work, I got to take care of my family, I got, you know, I may have to do some housework. I may have to do some work on my car, but as long as I can love you, all that other stuff can wait. It's whatever. That'll get done when it gets done. But this love thing that we got, that takes precedence over everything else. And that's the kind of R&B that you miss if you're of a certain age. Like I said, I was 10 going on 11 when this album came out. So that means I am 44 going on 45 right now. My birthday is in literally 2 months. So if you guys want to buy me something, I'm not opposed to it. But when you were growing up listening to that music, it made you want to really understand what love was about, or what we thought of love was about, in terms of, what the music represented. Because it's important to note around 92, 93ish, things started to get a little kinky in the R&B space. But you still had these wonderful love songs of devotion and tenderness and intimacy and infatuation and mutual respect and mutual admiration. And even though Mary and KC's relationship outside of the music didn't necessarily reflect that, the music itself still stands the test of time because people 34 years later still, you play that song and somebody's like, wow, that brings back memories. And I think that's what I always say, that's what makes great music, is when you can have memories tied to them. They may be good memories, they may be bad memories, they may be memories in between, things that you thought you might have forgotten about, things you may want to forget about, or things that you absolutely don't want to forget. But the memories, regardless of what kind of memories they are, they're still memories. And music definitely can tie you to memories of things that either were great for you, not great for you, or just okay, it was what it was for the moment. And this song checks all of those boxes, to be completely honest with you. When you listen to it, you hear Mary coming in on that second verse. You told me 1,000 times that you would be mine, oh mine. Like, KC sings that first verse about I walk away and I frown with my head hung far down. Tell me what is wrong. You just want to be loved all night long. But like, they're telling a story. They're pretty much telling their story in this record. And that's the beauty of music as well. You not only do you get the memories, you get the stories that are told through the artists themselves. And so that's why I Don't Want to Do Anything is my favorite song off of What's the 411. I could do the entire album 1 through 12 is no skips anyway. And the remix album, oh my God, the remix album. Woo, that's a whole nother story. That's how you know that we have entered a new space in music in the 90s, when you can put out an entirely different version of the same album with different beats and different cadences, and it still slaps. And Mary J deserves a lot of credit for being the front woman for all of that. That's why she's the queen of hip hop soul, man. And that's why 34 years later, What's the 411 is still getting the job done as one of the best R&B albums of all time. Certainly probably a top 5 R&B album of the 90s, and whatever else you want to put on that album. But yes, that was pretty much all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I just thought about it. I was like, okay, what's the 411's anniversary is today? What's my favorite song from the album? I'll share that memory with you guys. And I'm glad I did. So thank you guys for riding with your boy on the Groove Line. Greatly appreciate y'all. As always, contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that notification bell. All new videos, you'll catch them here. Don't forget to like and comment on these joints, because as you know by now, I talk back in the comments. We still will have our Friday show. I told you guys about a job interview that went well. It went well enough, but I have to wait for HR for final approval. So I'll still be doing my Friday shows at 12 o'clock. So until then, until next time we speak, y'all enjoy the rest of your week. May you find the groove, or may the groove find you.